Hello, in this video I'm going to show you fully how to draw from imagination and why you probably suck at it. And I'm going to explain to you fully in all the autistic specific steps and levels of detail, whatever. So this is me drawing from imagination. Of course I'm drawing a butt because yes, why not? Before starting, I just want to say I'm going to be dividing this video into like two parts. So the first half of this video is just going to be me doing like this little autistic presentation here where I'm just going to tell you the details, right? Because if I wanted to draw while I tell you the advice, but if I try doing that, I'm not going to be focused on either of those things. So I might as well just separate the video into parts. Now, the greatest constraint of people who can't draw from imagination is that they don't know perspective. So let me explain this a little bit better. Perspective, in case you have neglected it for years like I did, is not only the most important fundamental for drawing, it's literally the only fundamental that you have to do. There is no other fundamental that is even worth studying or practicing aside from perspective. Perspective is the fundamental, especially if you want to draw from imagination. Perspective is the thing, is a fundamental, the skill that will allow you to turn things into 3D space, not only on the canvas, but also in your mind. It's really useful because it's going to help you materialize things. So it's almost going to, if you don't study perspective or if you don't know perspective, trying to study anatomy or trying to study anything else, trying to study what things look like, is just going to feel very pointless. And you've probably felt this before, like for the people who try to learn anatomy, and it kind of felt pointless. It's like, okay, I didn't really feel like I learned anything. This is because you haven't really learned perspective. Because when you learn perspective, everything just makes sense. Everything just clicks. And it's like, okay, now learning this stuff actually makes sense. And I know how it's going to help me. But so the first requisite is to know perspective. That's literally the only requisite. And if you can like actually get good at perspective and know perspective intuitively, that is going to be amazing. Literally, like you already know how to draw and you have achieved your limit once you know perspective, which is usually going to take you from 1 to 2 years to fully understand how it works. If you really like put in the work, it may take you even less than a year. But yeah, let's just say a year if you are somewhat consistent in drawing. Now, once you learn perspective, I'm going to show you how to actually study things and how to memorize the world, how to memorize things, which this is not particularly hard, but it takes time and it's not very exciting a lot of the times. So each time you study something, you won't know how to draw it from memory right away. You will have to level it up like a video game. So by this point, you already know perspective. Hopefully you already know how to draw in perspective. And you are able to rotate things in 3D space. Especially like, I'm going to make a separate video on perspective, but it's not very hard. It's just drawing a bunch of cubes until you're able to connect them in the same 3D space and you're able to draw them in any angle. And anyways, once you're able to do that, now what's left to do? Now your job is to memorize what things look like. And everything is like, I don't know if you played Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, you have a bunch of different guns. You may have like, I don't know, 200 guns. I have no idea. And each gun, you have to unlock the camouflages. So you unlock the camos by doing like headshots. Okay, you did 5 headshots, 10 headshots, and you keep leveling up the gun. Now it's not level 1, but it's level 3. And now you have a bunch of camos. And until eventually you get the gold diamond, which is the latest one you can get. And you also level it up to the max level. So everything is, you've already achieved the prestige on that gun. And it happens with everything else when you want to draw anything else. So let's say I want to learn to draw these headphones right here. You have to memorize what these headphones look like and you have to study them. You are not going to look at these headphones once and know how to memorize it perfectly from imagination. how to draw it perfectly from imagination, all the tiny details. So it's like you look at it once and you really start to observe it. You start to observe how it rotates, like what the shape is like, how, if you're able to detach a part, what would that look like, or how would you do it? And all the things that are attached to it, like you start to see, okay, this has this shape and this other, like this is connected to this other shape here. And now, let's say I've never taken the time to observe these headphones, and this is the first time that I do it. Now I went from level 1 to level 2 or level 3 of knowing what these headphones, how they work, by just observing. But it's not observing just for the sake of it, right? If you only observe things and it's like, okay, I'm observing this, but you don't really focus on trying to make it work in your brain, is pointless. It's not going to do anything. So again, if you don't have photographic memory, chances are you look once at an object and you won't be able to fully memorize what it looks like and replicate that from memory onto a canvas. But if you keep doing that, if I keep doing this and drawing it as well, kind of like at the same time, and rotating it and understanding it more and more and more, I can do that. And once I achieve the point where I can understand all the little details, now I can rotate it because I know perspective. Now I can draw it in any angle that I want. And to be able to draw anything or everything from imagination, there's no secret. You don't have to have photographic memory. Like, Kim Jong-un didn't have photographic memory. You don't have to be like talented or anything. You just have to put in some work and actually know how to do studying, how to study things. Now, yeah, so it's basically like a video game. You just keep leveling up and practicing this. I was gonna say something. I actually forget what I was gonna say. Okay, so simplify it. If you can't memorize the whole thing right away, which you won't most of the time, learn the basic form of it first, draw the shell and visualize it without any details, like a plastic version of that object. This is important. This is why every art tutorial will always tell you to draw a bunch of boxes and a bunch of cylinders every time, because every object is basically compounded by cubes and cylinders, and everything can be simplified in either cubes or cylinders, even organic things like the human body. So if you're not able to draw a torso, you can simplify that into a box. If you're not able to draw a human head, you can simplify that into a box because of the way the planes of the face are look. You are able to simplify it in a box. So even like you have these guidelines that will help you with the perspective. So if I stand like this, you see how my mouth creates like a straight line that is also like the same angle as this line here on my eyebrows. So I know like these lines are like, I don't know if I'm making sense. If you know perspective, you know what I'm talking about. And you can just simplify these things like, okay, this is like the front part of the box and this is like the side, just by knowing a little bit of the planes of the face, which is not very hard. It's just like the extreme simplification. And again, let's say if you don't know how to draw, like let's say you looked at these headphones once. If you don't know all the detail, the only thing that you need to do is to simplify this into like 3 parts. What are the 3 parts in this case? You have this part here that is kind of like a flat like cylinder thing, and this other part here. So you get these 2 parts, and then you just have like this other part here. And it's just a matter of memorizing those things and visualizing them as Legos so you can attach them together, right? And you have to do this in your mind first, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Now, this works for everything, as I said, for even organic things like the human body and everything. And then once you know the basic structure, this is the bare minimum for you to be able to rotate them and draw this thing in any angle that you want. And once you're able to do that, you can then just memorize the details and everything. It's like, okay, at least you unlocked the bare minimum of having this object unlocked onto your canvas, if that makes sense. And now you can just progressively start memorizing more and adding more details to that. That's how you learn anatomy, human anatomy, by the way. And you gotta imagine kind of like a plastic version. Like, imagine if these headphones were made out of Legos, and just simplify. You can even simplify this into like a blocky shape that is kind of more angular. Just imagine that everything is made out of Legos, and this is not only going to make it easier for you to simplify it, but it's also going to make it easier for you to attach things. Because with perspective, it's not now it's not about drawing, it's about connecting and attaching the shapes that you just drew. You are not using your imagination enough. And this is something that I'm a little biased, because I like all of the stupid mistakes that I'm talking about here. I made all of them. And this is the biggest one by far. This is the biggest one because it's the most important that you have to do. And it's the one that I fucked up the most. Actually take some time to think what you're going to draw before you do it. Get better at visualizing things in your mind and using that as a reference. And practice drawing in your mind to train your brain. Now, I'm going to elaborate on this in a second. But the thing with using your mind, and you're like, when I say you're not using your imagination enough, is that you don't really take the time to think what you're going to draw. And you are mostly relying on muscle memory to draw things. Especially maybe for you, it's like human body, maybe like a face, or maybe like this or this other thing. And relying on muscle memory can be useful, but it's not the healthiest mindset when you're trying to draw in any angle and you're trying to use perspective mindfully. So what is the healthy thing to do? To draw it in your mind and to see things as just 3D objects that are converging towards a vanishing point. Now, if you're not able to, as I said, you have to visualize things in your mind. Holy shit. Fireworks. I'm sorry for that. You have to visualize things in your mind. But if you're not able to visualize, let's say you want to visualize a human body because you want to draw a person. If you're not able to visualize like the entire body, or you're not able to visualize all the little details and everything because you haven't studied that object enough, in this case, the human body. Holy shit. What you have to do is simplify the human body in like a mannequin. I'm probably going to put on like some images here, so you can kind of have an idea, but I'm going to draw this in a second. This works for everything. So if you don't know the full anatomy of something, visualize the Lego structure, if that makes sense. And I really want you to train your visualization skills, and I want you to be able to even move around in like the realm of imagination and visualization, because this, you can right now generate a thought, and you can generate like a visual image. And by the way, you don't have bad memory. This is the thing I forgot to say earlier. You don't have bad memory. You can actually memorize a lot of things, and you can memorize the world, literally. Like, you may think, oh, I forget what things look like. It's like going to the gym and training your muscles. Imagine you're in the gym and you're doing bicep curls. If you stop doing bicep curls, you will still have the muscle, but it will progressively fade away. So you have to keep training it, and you will have muscle memory. So if you lose it, it's going to be easier to gain it back. And it's the same thing with doing these things. If you stop drawing something, you will kind of forget how to draw it. So you look at a reference again, and your muscle memory will shut up again, and you will be able to draw it more easily. But you do have good memory. It's just like coping to say, no, I can't memorize shit because I'm stupid. I don't have good memory, whatever. So this is also why it's so good to practice visualizing things in your mind and drawing in your mind. When I say drawing in your mind, I just mean visualizing something and imagine that you're building that thing in your mind. Imagine that you're able to rotate that thing. You're able to fully visualize it. And I want you to do something, which I hope you take advice on this. Like, I hope you hear what I'm about to say, because this is something very powerful that is like an art habit that I want you to start doing, because I started doing this. I thought, okay, if I'm really gonna get serious at improving at this, I have to take some serious action as well. So what I started doing is that before drawing anything at all, I'm going to visualize it for an entire minute. So I set up a timer on my computer, and I sat like with my eyes closed for an entire minute, visualizing what I'm about to draw, in which perspective I'm about to draw it, and like what angle, what it looks like, what level of simplification I'm going to do it. So it's way, way easier. I'm not only training my brain, so it eventually gets easier for me to visualize things without having to think about it for so long. And, I'm able to memorize things more easily as well. But I'm also kind of cheating my way through. Like, it's not cheating, of course not. Like, your brain is like the actual tool you're going to use always, but not using it is like putting yourself with like playing in hard mode unnecessarily. So it's almost like having a reference in your mind. If you visualize it for long enough, you can literally burn that image into your mind, and you can literally have it for days. Like it's like an image you observed in person, right? In like the real world. And this realm of dreams and imagination, where you can create images in your mind, is something that you can train. You can actually train to see things in like higher resolution, if you will, and being able to draw and rotate things in your mind is really going to be very useful. I think that's about it for the presentation. I'm probably going to ramble a little bit more. I tried to not make it so unnecessarily long, because this is a really long topic. And if I try to draw whilst I'm giving you this advice, I'm not going to succeed at anything. Anyways, now it's time for drawing and actually goofing a little bit and doing some random stuff and practicing drawing from imagination. But before jumping into that, if you made it to this part of the video, what the fuck, you're actually insane. That means you're very serious about learning drawing and everything. So if you want to learn more directly from me, and you want to draw with me on the same canvas and actually do some stuff, and actually me giving you advice, I'm doing one-to-one coaching calls. So you can book a call with me right now to see if you apply to my one-to-one coaching program, and actually save you from running in circles mindlessly without knowing what you're doing, really. Because I feel like nobody explains to you these things. Everyone just gives you very shallow advice just for the sake of getting clicks, and don't really take the time to explain this very specific autistic level of detail into drawing from imagination. So if you haven't really taken any guidance before, it just feels like you're in point A right now and you want to go to point B. And what do? You're just literally running in circles like this until you get to point B. But it's like, sometimes you don't even go to point B. It's like you go all the way there, you go back to the very beginning, and you may not even get to the point that you want. Because this happened to me, holy shit, and I wasted so many years. I really wish I had someone who helped me out like this. So, I tell you, don't take this stupid, weird path and fuck it up like that. Just go from A to B like this. So that is what I do. I tell you, okay, you're in point A. You want to go to point B? Just go here. This is the path. I cleared it up for you. Anyways, I'm gonna take this space to ramble a little bit. My first initial plan was to draw in real time, but I was like, Jesus Christ, if I'm already drawing for 12 hours and this is already time consuming for me to do like this presentations, I might as well just put like a speed drawing of the live streaming that I did. So this is a time-lapse from the live streaming, the very first live streaming that I did here on YouTube. If you want to see it in real time, you can go check it out. And yeah, the quality is absolutely garbage. It's not going to happen again. I'm sorry for that. But anyways, here you can see me basically doing the same thing. I think I'm not actually looking at it, but you can I'm probably doing a bunch of boxes and mannequin people. And I'm also studying a lot of, I'm drawing a lot of anatomy from imagination and just recalling what I've seen before and like all the mental notes and observations that I've taken in the past whenever I was looking at a person or anything really. But I was just prioritizing the human body over everything else, because the human body is like the thing that you will be drawing the most, pretty much. And it's also the thing that impresses people the most. It's like, oh yeah, you can draw humans very well. It's like, if you can draw humans perfectly, people will just assume that you can draw anything else, basically. Especially if you know perspective. And I want to keep stressing this. I don't feel like I'm stressing this enough, how important perspective really is. Perspective is so ridiculously important. And it is also important that you don't overthink your lines. I know I've said this a lot as well, but do not overthink every line that you draw. Your lines are not important. You shouldn't be control seeing unless you fuck up like extremely badly. But yeah, you shouldn't really care. You should draw very carelessly. Otherwise, your drawings are going to look stiff. Your lines are going to look stiff if you, ironically, if you care about them too much and try to make them super pretty. I also want to say, like, a while ago, I was scrolling through the comments on my last YouTube video, and I got a little bit disappointed, honestly, on people. And I just kind of wanted to rant a little bit about this because it pisses me off how complacent people can be, especially artists. I really don't get it. Art, or drawing in this case, is such a long journey. It's such a long, like a hard discipline that actually takes a lot of time and a lot of grind. Just because it's fairly easy and accessible and it's kind of cute, doesn't mean that you can't grind it as if it was something else, like a video game. For me, it's just like a video game. For me, this is no different than, because I'm saying in that video that I'm drawing for 12 hours a day, every day, and people say, oh, you're gonna get burnout. No, I don't actually get burnout because I enjoy it. And if I got burnout, I don't care. I'm willing to sacrifice my comfort in order to get to achieve my goals, you know? For me, it's the same thing as a video game. It's the same thing as grinding Call of Duty. Like, you may get burnout if you play Call of Duty for 12 hours a day, but at the end of the day, what you're trying to get is, to level up, to get the maximum prestige, the maximum level. It's the same thing with drawing. And if you don't look at drawing this way and you just get complacent and you say, no, I can actually draw for 30 minutes every day and I can be amazing. Well, that's your problem, really. You just don't want it bad enough. But Jesus Christ, I just want to filter my audience to the point where these people are not here anymore. Although that is a good thing. That means I'm going in the right direction and my opinions are controversial enough that I'm pissing a lot of people off, and I'm just, you're getting burnout. You're silly. People have to work jobs and everything. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing this for myself. I'm not telling you to do it. Or, well, maybe I am if you're serious enough. So you can go by my coaching and I can help you with that in case you are one of those people. But if you're not, then you simply don't want it bad enough. I'm not saying it's for everyone. It's not for everyone. Absolutely not. Even for me, I find it challenging, and that's good. It shouldn't be easy. Because when it is like particularly easy, when it starts to feel very comfortable, that's when you stop seeing improvement. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Oh, you're getting burnout. I don't care. Bro, the people who comment that on my videos are the same type of people who spend hours and hours on TikTok, Instagram, watching fucking reels, who laugh at the fucking 67 joke. Oh, he said 67. Bro, come on. Like, behind the fucking screen, I had to sacrifice a lot of comfort. I had to sacrifice sleep. I had to sacrifice relationships. And I'm willing to do that. And I'm enjoying it to achieve my goals. So this is completely fine. And of course, I don't encourage it for everyone. This is an experiment that I'm doing because I'm unemployed. And, well, I actually want to live from this. So I might as well just go all in. That's what I want. And if you resonate with this message and you agree that drawing for this long, for example, is a good thing and that it's going to feel actually very enjoyable, more enjoyable than spending your time on social media. Because even if you, because of course people will use this bullshit excuse, oh, I have to work a job and that takes a lot of time. Figure it out. Do you know how many jobs there are that is just sitting on a desk and you can just draw for most of it? Figure it out. Quit your job and find another one, or find a way around it if you really want it that bad. And if you don't, just say it. Just say, oh no, I'm actually not that passionate. Okay, now get the fuck out of here. I don't want you here in my channel. I know I'm being a little bit aggressive here, as always, but being comfortable, being complacent, and having people speak to me like a fucking pussy is not helping me, has never helped me in any way. because when people speak to me in this soft way, in this complacent type of way, oh, don't work so hard, I don't make any progress. I don't see any progress. And I'm currently so passionate. Like, my expectations and my level of passion is so high that it literally people are not able to understand. I'm a little bit insane too. I'm a little bit crazy. I'm crazy enough to sacrifice for this. So again, it's not for everyone, but I'm enjoying it. I'm fully enjoying it. So yeah, shut up. Thank you for watching. I think that's about it for the video. It's already too fucking long. If you enjoyed it, if you want to see more videos like this, I'll try to post this type of classes. I'll try to post this type of presentations every day or every other day. So let me know if you like them. Peace out.